Hi, John Maxwell here. I'm glad you're with me today on Minute with Maxwell. Let's talk about the principle of creating a culture. It's a real buzzword today in the business community. In fact, all you got to do is say, I'm going to talk about creating a culture in your organization, and you got an audience. And they're all sitting there and they're ready to learn because everybody understands the value and the importance of culture in a company. But what's interesting is not everybody understands how it's made up and how it's developed. Let me explain it this way. I come to people all the time and they'll say, John, would you help us create a culture for an organization? And I say, your organization already has a culture. It may not be intentional, but it's got a culture because culture is your behavior. And so basically how the people behave in your company is the culture of your company. Now, if it's not intentional, it probably is a very bad culture because people basically go the way of least resistance and least commitment. And so therefore, anything that is unintentional and anything that is kind of automatic or on cruise control is, to be honest with you, normally not healthy or good. Everything worthwhile is uphill. And creating a culture is an intentional uphill job. But when you think about it, it's really not hard to create it if you understand what it is. It's you. It's who you are. Your company is a reflection of you. It's like looking in the mirror. Every day you go to your organization, you're looking in a mirror. You're looking at yourself because it is what you are. Good, bad, fat, slim, ugly, pretty, doesn't matter. It's what you are. So the issue is not, do we have a culture in our company? The question is, do we have the culture that we want in our organization? Now, to do that, it means that I have to now take me and begin to become the best me possible and flesh it out in the behaviors. So it means that I not only take the strengths that are probably going to work good in my culture, but I also take my weaknesses. And I make them values in my life. What I tell people all the time is, if you're weak in something, make it a value in your life. Because if it's a value in your life, you'll begin to hold it dear and you'll begin to work on it. You may never achieve it greatly like you do your strengths, but at least you'll begin to make progress on it. So ask yourself, who am I? Because the law of magnetism says we attract who we are, not who we want. Well, the culture we have is basically who we are. And the only way to make it better is to ask, what do we want that we don't have now? What are my weaknesses? What don't I show as far as values? What do I not show in behavior? Because whatever those things are that are short in my life, I need to shore them up and fix them so that I have the culture that I want for my people. So you already have culture in your company. The question is it any good or not? If it's unintentional, the odds are you don't have a healthy culture. If it is intentional and you have begun to work on those areas of behavior that are fleshed out to your people, that are so essential to the success of your company, but maybe such a shortcoming in your life, if you're intentionally working on them, then you're making the culture better. But the culture can never be any better than the behavior of its leaders, period, end of story. Nothing else to say. So look at yourself and look at your leaders and ask yourself very simply, do we reflect to our people the environment that we want for our people? If the answer is yes, you're probably going the right way. But it must be intentional. John Maxwell here. Glad you're with me today on Minute with Maxwell.